What is up, everybody? We are back. It's been a couple of weeks. We've been out of touch, not out of touch, just things were happening. You know, A2D Radio had the big draft thing going on last week. The draft has taken place. The Eagles are flying even higher, I think. We're gonna look at it today. We're gonna look at it today.
Got a lot to get into.
This is Bennett, A2D Radio. I'm Irving Fryar. That's Big Dog Hollis Thomas right there. Big Dog, tell the people what you got to tell the people.
Well, today, Bennett is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Yeah, that's right, Philly Sports Trips. Go to phillysportstrips.com and choose one of our tantalizing events. Speaking of tantalizing events, there's the NFL schedule release is coming up pretty soon. And as you know, we're one of the only people who have our Brazil trip set and ready. We also do baseball, basketball, and hockey, and we are the official travel team for the Philadelphia Union. So go to phillysportstrips.com, click on the trips and events, and tell them you heard it from A2D Radio from Irving and the Tank.
Urban and the Tank. When's the Kentucky Derby? Don't you have a trip to the Kentucky Derby? Is that now?
Kentucky Derby is actually coming up in the next few days. So
right.
that trip also. We have a bunch of events coming up. One of my esteemed colleagues should be on here. My boy Dooney. We're setting up for Eagles Autism. He's setting it up. It's tentative right now. So I'll be posting details pretty soon. And shout out to everybody who I saw. I was at the draft in Detroit. Shout out to all the people I saw. And the best way to put this is
what are you going to say?
Well, I went to the Superfans tailgate. And it's better to see them in the light, because the previous year when the draft was in Kansas City, we were at the draft in the inner circle. And so then we were invited earlier that day. Vince was like, yeah, they're having a big party for all of the super fans. Super fans meaning the people with paint on their faces.
Okay, right.
And so after tossing back a few in that inner circle.
Okay, all right.
Circle and chilling and stuff, and noticing the people those were going to be the only people besides myself and one Vince Rizzuto there who were going to be dressed as regular human beings. Everybody else was going to. And so when he said, hey, Tank, would you still want to go? I was like, I respectfully decline. And I'm glad I did, because I saw the pictures from the event this year. Some of Vince's pictures, they started out real good. They started out with this right. And then there was one
legs high.
But there was one particular guy that he ran into that's a Raiders guy. Now, I got to meet this guy without paint during the daytime. They showed me a picture of him at nighttime, and I probably would have lost my damn mind. Because if you look at the rest of the pictures after Vince meets him, he's no more good.
Wow. Wow.
This goes from to.
So Big Dog, I got a couple of questions for you, because you had the opportunity to go to the draft this year. We missed our show last week, or we didn't have our show last week because there was the big draft show on A2D Radio. So we didn't have Vetted on last week, but you were at the draft. You were actually at the draft last week. Right. I watched all the way, the first round, all the way up. I was in Nebraska. I watched all the way up until after the Eagles picked at 22. Didn't move up, which we thought they would do. Picked Mitchell. We'll get to that in a minute. We're going to go over all the draft picks that the Eagles chose and give our opinions about them and all of that here in a minute. But talk to me about, I don't know exactly where you were, if you were actually in the room or if you were just in the area. But man, the whole draft situation, the whole draft celebration has turned into, not almost for me, this is just my opinion. It's gotten a little bit ridiculous. You're
only touching the surface.
Is it really that bad? Is it really that bad?
There were over 700,000 people there to represent their squad. That was attendance. So the first night on the first, I actually couldn't even get down to the area, because if you saw the event on TV,
right,
all of that was not superimposed.
That was that was crowded. People all over the place.
There was over 250,000 people down there.
That's crazy.
And when you went online to get just the general admission ticket, it said, "Please don't come down there."
Well, 250,000 people. That's more than what's in the stadium.
Well, this is
Way
what I
more,
heard.
twice, 3 times more.
Yeah, and this is what I heard from some of the fans on the second day when I went down there. The first day, the people who went on the first day, everything was cool until stopped letting people in. But then when they stopped letting people in, they were not letting people out. So the people that wanted to leave couldn't leave. And so one of my esteemed colleagues from the West Coast Eagles gang, West Coast, he almost got smashed. He's a big guy. He almost got smashed because he got pushing to try to get the hell out of there. But the event overall, it was a great time.
Did they charge the people to get in? Did they charge all of those people money?
I think you only had to pay to get on the inner circle. But other than that, they were selling food and stuff. So it's not everything else. You had to buy food and drinks and stuff. But everything, the admission price, it was no price of admission. But you did have to go online and get like a ticket so they could have count. So that you got the ticket for free. But in the inner circle, I think you had to pay. And the inner circle, I think the teams had certain people that they would put in the inner circle. Because I was sitting next to the Hogs. I thought you were going to go with when was I there when our boy friend to the program, Brandon Graham, got on there and said Dallas sucks.
He's true. That's true. Listen, what was your opinion about some of the suits that some of the rookies or some of the those who got draftees were wearing? I'm looking at some of those suits and it was like crazy. They got dookie chains on and neon green suits on. It was just way over the top. Way over the top.
It was way over the top. But the coolest thing to me was seeing some of the guys who still went with a traditional look.
Yes,
it was very few guys that went with that.
Very few, and most of those few were not people who are of our culture.
Well, some of them were.
Some of them were. Yeah, I said most of them weren't.
Everybody else was showing out, and I'm sitting down. I was like, who even told you that looked good?
Who told you?
Who told you that looked good?
I was watching on TV, and I said the same thing. Who told? Why? Where's your mama and where's your daddy? And why did they let you out of the house like that?
And then none of the wives, we had Cam Newton up there looking like a Bugs Bunny character, Bugs Bunny gangster character. I'm like, what the hell do you have on? and it's like it was and then as you guys when you're not at the draft, you know the part where they show you guys the highlights and stuff.
Right.
They have some offbeat band and some of the people who work for NFL Network to try to come out and entertain the masses, which was lame.
Right, during the downtime on TV. When we're seeing commercials on TV, you're getting all the entertainment.
When you guys are seeing commercials, or you guys see the breakdown of the pick.
Right. Yeah. You guys are getting music.
If you want to call it that.
So it was probably better to stay at home and watch it on TV than it was to be in person.
Well, if you I think you could to go to it and to be there. You have to experience it at least once.
Really?
They still, it's a great experience, dude. It was like it was just like when you look at the whole experience and Dooney, my buddy Dooney was there. Now, if you have anxiety like Dooney, you do not want to go down to the inner circle.
Who was that said Allen Iverson changed the dress code for professional athletes?
That was just
Keenan. Crazy Keenan. Keenan, you crazy, man.
And he's right to a certain extent.
He kept the hip hop. I'm sure of that. He changed it to hip hop. So these guys are a little more hip hop than they were. But he changed everything. Allen changed everything.
But some of the stuff that I was seeing,
ridiculous.
Some painted fingernails. I saw some.
What? Who had painted fingernails?
The first overall pick had painted.
He had painted fingernails. What color were they? Really?
Pinky blue, like.
He had blue fingernail polish on?
Yeah, on his pinkies. Yeah, I know.
And he's coming to the...
He's going to the Bears. He's going to the Bears.
Okay. All right. He ain't coming here.
Yeah, no, he's not coming here. It was, you know, the coolest thing about the draft was, it's like that, because I went on the second day. The second day was a little bit more subdued. But one of my esteemed colleagues, I don't know what strand or whatever he got, but every time I turned around, he was eating. I'll mention his name later.
The munchies? Did he have the munchies?
No, but I don't even think it was the munchies. He was like, man, the munchies. And Dooney remembers this too, because he's like, man, I'm hungry. I was like, so I watched him scarf down a burger. Then we get to our seats. And we sitting there, and then, and actually the Eagles brought some guys from Japan, so I got to use Google Translate. Yeah, it was a quarterback and the tight. Japan is playing football now, and a quarterback and they brought a quarterback and a tight end over there from there, and I answered questions from Google Translate. But I was sitting there, and we were waiting on the pitch, and we were chilling and stuff, and all of a sudden he looks to the left, looks to the right, and goes up his seat and pulls out a big box of chicken tenders. How much you want some? I was like, no, dude. I was like, we ate at the tailgate. I had a big breakfast. We ate at the tailgate, the whole shebang. Wow. So then we get to, after we watch the picks, and we watch our second round. We watched the second round pick, and because remember we traded up in the second round. Now, I didn't think we were going to be able to do that.
We traded 50 we traded both of them, 50 and the 53.
Yeah, but if you
40.
We made the most trade. We made we
like
tied
10,
for the
10
most
different trades.
No,
yeah.
I think we made 10 or did we make 8? Because
I thought it was like 10.
We made 8 because it was tied for the most trades in an NFL draft.
Yeah, Howie was doing his thing, man.
And he got a third round and a fourth round pick for next season.
For next year, yeah. No, he was doing his thing, yeah.
But when we traded, we sitting there waiting on the second round pick, and he traded up for Cooper DeJean, and I was like, wait a minute, did he trade the second pick too? And so
traded both of them. But you know what? In that we got two of the top 5 cornerbacks.
Yes.
In the draft. 2 of the top 5.
And one of the most
was excellent. I mean, I thought literally, in our whole, mock draft thing we were doing, I thought that he was going to have to trade up to get either Cooper DeJean or Mitchell. I thought he was going to trade up for that, but because things changed so much, and there's so many quarterbacks taken, with 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks, and there's all these offensive guys being taken, a record in offensive guys taken in a row in the beginning of the draft.
Right.
Then we got the number one. We took the first corner, and we got the best corner we thought in the draft. So before we get to that, okay. Let's do a little quick Sixers Phillies thing. All right. Okay. So because the Phillies, the Phillies are on a roll.
They got the best record in the MLB right now.
Yeah, they won first to 20. 7 games in a row out of the last 10. They're 7-3 out of the last 10 games, which is awesome. They've shifted it around, turned things around quicker than they did last year. I just want to give a quick stat that they won their last game, right?
Yes.
They struck out 18 times. And still won the game.
The score was 2-1.
Huh?
Excuse me. The score was 2-1.
Yeah.
It was a. See, and the last year we were losing those games.
Right, but they struck out 18 times. They haven't done that and won a game since 1901.
Damn.
Yeah, 1901 was the last time the Phillies were able to do something like that, strike out that many times and still win a game. So something special is going on with the Phillies.
Yeah, we had the first one to 20 victories as well. We got 21 now.
Yes.
And it's like I think, and then too, I know a lot of people. I watch a lot of the baseball games, and I go to a lot of them too. Mm-hmm. I think the defense is what's doing a lot better.
And pitching, the pitching is good too.
The pitcher was there, but we used to make little stupid
errors. Stupid mistakes. Yeah,
and our base running has gotten a lot better too.
Well,
we used to make like little league errors, and little league like stupid stuff, not paying attention. So I think guys are paying more attention to detail, which is causing us to win.
Right, particularly running the bases. They would make some real amateur mistakes.
And Scott Teller, he just chimed in. The starting pitching is lasting longer and is stronger.
Well, that's what I just said. Yeah. And Scott Teller knows. Shout out to Scott Teller. He was a catcher for the Phillies for a while. There was 6 years, catcher for the Phillies. So shout out to the Phillies here on on Vetted on A2D radio. Say W something www.com. www.vetted.com. Shout out to the Phillies, and the Sixers are playing tonight.
Yes.
What's they had a great win. Everybody's all excited about the win. Tyrese Maxey took over the game. I'm still not convinced about Joel Embiid, man, because he's out
there playing with some palsy and he's got a bad knee, man.
Man, but
hold on. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
What am I saying? What am I saying?
He's soft.
I'm so sick, man.
It's like
the excuses. There's too many excuses. If you can't play, get your ass off the feet, off the court, and go sit on the bench. That's how serious. That's how. Get your ass off the court and go sit on the bench. Don't be up there, he's like going half speed.
Yeah.
Looking, moping around. No energy. Stop that. That's not good for the team.
No, it's not. But also, it's the unwillingness of our coach Nick Nurse to play the backup centers and at least have him fresh. If you're gonna be out there, at least have him fresh. They didn't play Paul Reed or Mobambi. What's his name?
Because he was trying to shake Embiid's cage. He's trying to rattle his cage to get him going.
Yeah, but not tired, not dog tired, boss. I think
it was more mental than it was physical.
I don't know.
I don't think he was fit. I mean, obviously,
you have to remember he's coming off a knee injury.
I understand that.
And when you've missed some time, you still got to get back in game shape, and this is playoff shape. Now, I'm not giving him a pass, but I see what he was talking about when he said, sometimes I just need some help. And Maxi came through with help.
Embiid needs to help himself.
Yeah, but he can't do it all the time. It's like if you look at.
I tell you what, if I was 7'2" and weighed as much as he weighed, I don't care what kind of injury I had. I'm dunking on everybody. Whoever gets in my way getting run over.
But you forgot the one caveat. You said you have to have the same. You have to say if I was 7'2" with my same nasty disposition.
Well, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If it was 7'2", that's why God didn't make me 7'2", because I'd be running over everybody.
Yeah, he may be a big he may be a big dog, but he's like he stuck me with the height. So
God stuck you with the height. So shout out to the Sixers. By the time we finish the show tonight, they will probably be starting that game. Yes. Hopefully they can win Game 6 and force it to a Game 7. There have been tickets that have been given out by the Sixers ownership. They gave out like 2,000 tickets to make sure we got a bunch of Sixers fans in the house tonight.
Because I think people were selling them to the Knicks fans.
To the Knicks fans, yeah.
And it was not to you can't even downplay it. The Sixers fans. We've been in the first round and the second round of the playoffs pretty much forever. We used to be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't nobody believe that the Sixers were going to do anything. That's why they was like, okay, they're doing the same crap they know to do. We trusted the process, and the process has gotten us nowhere fast. So,
well, it can still end up the same old thing. If they lose tonight, or if they lose in Game 7, it's still the same old thing.
I think they're gonna go off tonight. I think they're gonna go off tonight to push it to a Game 7 at least.
Yeah, I think I'd pray that they would push it to a Game 7, but I don't think they're going to win this series. And if they don't win this series against the Knicks, which is the opening series of the playoffs, it's the same old thing.
Yeah.
They haven't advanced past the first level.
They haven't passed the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, they haven't got to the second round. So, so what's the difference? There's no difference.
There is no difference.
No difference at all.
I just work here.
Yeah. So listen, let's do the A2, not A2. Yeah, A2D.
You mean the call to action?
A2D. Okay. Go ahead and do the call of action.
Yeah. Let's call the call to action is hit subscribe and like, please. Hit subscribe and like so you will get an alert anytime the show Vetted is on.
There it is.
Hit subscribe and like. It's a call to action.
Yep.
Subscribe and like, baby.
And hit the notifications button too.
Yeah, hit the notifications
button. So when we come on, it will notify you. Your phone, your mobile device, or tablet, whatever it is you're watching us on, will notify you. We see a bunch of people on tonight. Good to see you, all of you, David Roska, and who's that? I can't even see. TQ Stats, Dynasty 215, FB. Eagles. I don't know who FB is. Scott Teller's in the house. Keenan Harmon's in the house. Yeah.
Eagle has landed. Brian Daly. What's up, Brian?
Mm-hmm. Shout out to all of y'all. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting us. Yeah. So the Eagles also, they've been signing people and solidifying, Devontae Smith got his contract, $25 million a year. I knew when Devontae got his contract and he was making $25 million a year, he was making the same amount of money as A.J. Brown, that A.J. Brown either was going to get a new contract or he was going to start pouting. But
I know. You know what the funny thing is? That's not what the way I took it was Scott Howie being smart because if you look at the way it's done, his contract is cap friendly, so you can still
Of
sign
course.
other people
Yeah.
because he got the extension. And I love what AJ Brown said. They was like, "How does it feel being the top paid?" He's like, "That's on paper." He's like, when you cross between the lines, nobody care what's in your bank account."
Mm-hmm.
He said, I have to prove that I'm worth that."
Yeah. Well, he's
And
being friendlier now. He's being more
well, you know
receptive
what?
now. He's more
It's like
approachable now. And if I got paid $90+ million or getting $33 million or $30+ million a year, I'd be a little more receptive too.
yeah, but it's like you know what? But I think
He's
that
not. He's being nicer now.
he's being nicer. But I think that some of the masses, some people were just coming at him with mad disrespect and was expecting him to hand them flowers. If you get back what you put out.
Of course.
So if you coming at me asking me a dumbass question, I'm gonna give you some dumbass answers.
Of course. And I don't blame him for some of his interactions with the media. I'm just saying when he got that $90+ million contract, 3-year extension, he sure did become a little more approachable.
It's like, wouldn't that make you a little bit nicer?
Of course. I'd be a little bit nicer too.
Now,
Skippy.
Now, speaking of not being nicer, now I know you watched the first round of the draft. What exactly were you thinking when the Atlanta Falcons chose Michael Penix Jr.?
I don't. You know what? I don't.
No. I just need your honest. I don't need the diplomatic answer. I don't need.
Okay. What in HE double hockey sticks are you doing?
Right. Yeah, the first thing when I saw it, I was like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah. Well, I just said HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah,
what in HE double hockey sticks are you doing? Yeah.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. It's the Atlanta Falcons. They have bad management. They have bad people who are running the organization. They don't know what they're doing.
You know who the dude is, don't you, Terry Fondo?
Yeah.
You remember he was with us with the Eagles.
Yes.
He was a scout with the Eagles.
Yes.
When they were picking bad people.
They don't know. They don't know. Yeah, right. They don't know. It's a bad organization. They don't know what they're doing. They were a little competitive probably 6 or 7 years ago. But now they just, they're one of those organizations that, they're just floundering around and haven't figured it out for whatever reason and don't have the right people in the right places.
And now some of the people that are with us are sounding not so much sounding off, but saying my sentiments. My sentiments of this draft was the most satisfying draft that I've ever been a part of with the Eagles.
Oh, really? Wow, that's big dog. So let's the A2D question. Okay. The A2D question. That's what I was going to go to earlier.
Okay.
The A2D question is the Eagles 2024 draft class. The Eagles 2024 draft class was better than their 2023 draft class. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree.
Yeah, because last year we talked, Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter. We were all excited about those cats. Particularly
about Jalen Carter, but Nolan is
Nolan hasn't showed up at all yet. Yeah, I mean, it's just a year. It's okay. But again, I heard some people talking today about how, it's a big difference. You know this, I know this. It's always been this way. There's a difference. There's another level of play that you have to come to grips with and perform at when it comes to between the college football and the NFL.
Right.
When you're drafted, when you're playing in the NFL, it's a whole nother level than college. And there are guys, some of it's a shot in the dark. We may see their skills and they go to the combine and they test well, so on and so forth. But you still have to go on the field and play against these high-level athletes, these professional athletes, play against them and still do well. And there are some guys who come out of college and get into the pros and just don't perform at a high level against high-level athletes.
And I was talking to Andrew about this, but this week when I was maximizing my sexy, I think the main thing that goes down when you get to the next level is the speed of the game is so much faster and it's like some guys get it, and some of the guys get lost in the wind.
Right.
And I was the one thing. It was the one thing that I was looking at with this draft, and it was two. I have two favorite people in this draft already. One's an undrafted guy.
Okay, well, don't go undrafted yet because we're gonna.
I wasn't going to.
Our whole show next week is going to be about the undrafted because I want to give you that because you are an undrafted free agent. So we need to take a show to look at these cats that are undrafted. The Eagles brought on undrafted free agents. So we want to take a whole show for that. So we're going to look at those next week.
Okay, so it's two drafted guys. I love the Trotter pick because we didn't reach for him. But I love the.
Well, they did trade up for him. They did
but we didn't reach for him like high in the rounds and stuff.
Oh no, yeah.
But then the other one was the pick right after him, Trevor Keegan, the guard out of Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't know if you've seen his film, but he's got a nasty disposition that I love in guards.
Well, first of all, he's from Michigan, okay, right. And Michigan won the national championship.
Correct.
He's been a starter for 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he's a captain and a leader on the team.
Yep.
The cat knows what he's doing. And if you look at the history, if you go back and you look at the history of linemen who are drafted in, it doesn't matter what round, offensive linemen who are drafted out of the University of Michigan, they play in the NFL.
John Runyon?
I.e. John Runyon, 6th round draft choice out of Michigan. Hello? Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. John Runyon.
Steve Everett.
Michigan lineman, offensive lineman, play in the NFL. Steve Everett, yep.
I go on forever, baby.
So these cats, he's going to add depth.
Well,
he knows what he's doing. He's a leader. He's, like you said, he plays with an attitude.
Yeah.
He's a striker. He can move. He has the ability to pull. He's got good feet. So he's a cat that we were able to catch in the 5th round.
Yep.
That's going to end up being someone like you said, a John Runyon, who's going to end up starting. Not this year, but he's going to have time. If he needs to, he'll be able to fit in this year, to spell somebody, but he's going to have time to develop. And by the time he does start, another year, 2 years down the road, guess what? He's going to be a beast.
Yeah. And it was another signing, like right after the draft. It wasn't an undrafted free agent. It was a kid who I guess he had been at Stoutland University.
Yeah. You talking about Becton?
Yeah.
With the Jet from the Jets?
Yeah.
First round draft choice in 2020?
Yeah, who hadn't touched the field, and I think he's learned a little bit.
He missed 23 out of 24 games in 2021 and 2022. Then last year he played. He just didn't have a good season. He had a knee injury.
He's coming out knee injury.
Yeah. But his rookie year with the Jets, he had a good season. Yeah.
And he was
at Louisville.
Yeah, because he was coming. Yeah, he came out of Louisville because I remember covering him coming out, and I was like, man, he was going to be a beast. But then he started getting those miscellaneous injuries and stuff, and he hit that injury bug like for a couple of years, and now I think he's coming back into his own. So I think it was a good mercenary style contract to bolster our offensive line, to keep our offensive line and the depth intact.
But you know what? He's going to be one of those swing tackles where he'll be able to play both sides and fill in if necessary in any type of games. And Stoutland's going to get his hands on him, and he's going to coach this kid up. I think this was a great get by Howie Roseman and the Jets. The Jets are a bad organization, man. They're just a bad organization. And a change of scene, as you know, a change of scenery for a guy, particularly when he's young, but a change of scenery for a guy going to a better team, better athletes, better coaching, better situation. It makes all the difference in the world. This cat's going to come out. It's McKee is his name, McKee Becton. Mm-hmm. He's going to come in this year. And I promise you, he's a beast. He's huge. He's like 6'7", 363.
Yeah, he's a man huge.
He's like
much boys.
He's like Mailata. And he looks. I saw a picture of him. His face. He looks mean as I don't know what, man. It looks like he'll bite your face off.
Yeah, that might work. But I was gonna ask you about. We did pick up a couple receivers in the draft. Who are you more interested to see? The kid out of Texas A&M or the kid out of Florida State?
Let me get my notes here.
While you working on your notes, I love Johnny Walker when he was at Florida State because he was just that big guy. He actually played big. You know, it's rare that you come across a guy with the size and strength that plays big, and he was actually one of the kids who played big.
Well, listen, I gave grades to all the picks, and my grade for Johnny is Johnny Wilson is his name. Johnny Wilson is a B-. Yeah, he's a big cat. What is he, 6'5", 6'6", something like that. He ran a 4.5 40, which is not bad at all.
He's 6'7", but he's 6'6" and 3/8 of an inch.
Yeah, he looks like a power forward in shoulder pads. He's huge. He could be a tight end, man, but he's a physical freak. He really. But there are things that he struggles with. He struggles sometimes. At times, he struggles with separating from the DB. At times, he gets a little sloppy in his routes. At times, he struggles with dropping the ball. He's had quite a few drops, but I think it's a great pick. Why? Because he has a lot of upside. He has a lot of ability. He has a lot of potential. And being in the same place that an A.J. Brown is, in the same place where Devontae Smith is, who both have great work ethic, who are both great professional football receivers, they can teach him a lot, and he can glean from them and lean on them and become potentially a beast. He has the potential to be a guy in the slot that nobody can handle, man.
I know.
He can be a slot guy that nobody can handle. So if he takes that time and develops and gets some
pressure up on his route running.
Yeah, and his route running and stuff, and he can do that. He has the time. He's an athlete. He'll be able to do that. Just needs the coaching. So I think I do think he was a great pick. But this other receiver, Aeneas Smith.
Yeah.
I give him a C-. Why? Because when he was selected, he was in the 5th round, number 152. Right. There were still other receivers on the board that we could have taken that I felt were better than him, like Malik Washington out of Virginia and Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son, out of USC. They were still on the board. And this kid, he's like 5'9".
Yeah.
And he runs a 4.5 40. No, if you're 5'9", you need to run a 4.3 40.
You have to watch him play.
Yeah. I know he can play. No.
I'm talking about like they're 5'9", doesn't correlate to the field.
Right. But I know he can play. He's got short arms, but he's shifty. He makes guys miss. He can get open. He knows how to play the game. I understand that. But he's also a punt returner too. And with these new rules they put in place, he could make the team as a returner. I don't know what Britton Covey's going to do, but
I don't know what Britton Covey's going to do either, because Cooper DeJean,
he's a return guy as well, yeah.
And Will Shipley is as well.
Yep.
Then he's out to Boston Scott. He signed with the Rams.
Right, and this is Kenny Gainwell. This Kenny Gainwell's last year in his contract.
Well, it's going to be his last year if he don't shit to get off the pot.
When
they drafted,
that's why they drafted the running back.
When they drafted a 4th round running back with the skill set of Will Shipley, they let you know that what you've been doing is not good enough.
Right. Yeah, Will Shipley.
And not only that, the Aeneas Smith, that he's also built in the form of that type of thing. I think they're going to be using him as like a
return guy.
Not only a return guy, but like a Swiss Army knife. To do like little certain stuff, to run motions and decoy stuff, to make people think. Because we hadn't had anybody like those two small guys, to put people on notice until now. And
I think he can be a good slot guy. He just like I said, he's small. He's got small hands.
Well, I said like a Swiss Army knife though.
Well, yeah.
Like he can line up in the backfield, and do the swing routes and stuff. Because he can make people miss too. So it's going to be.
You're talking about the running back, Will Shipley. Okay, you're talking
Will
about
Shipley and Smith, but Smith is built in the same form as Shipley's probably bigger than him though.
Yeah, Shipley's way bigger. Yeah. Smith is a little cat, man. He's a little gnat running around the field. But I mean, obviously the Eagles see something in him. They've done their homework to be able to take him in the 5th round over a guy like Johnny Wilson. So I mean, obviously they see something and know something that I don't see and I don't know. I just know I like the pick with Johnny Wilson a little bit better than Aeneas Smith, because there were guys like Brendan Rice who was still available Malik Washington out of Virginia. I thought they were better receivers than Nia Smith. That's all. They were still available, and they didn't pick them. They picked the Nias, which is okay. Cool. So talk to us about Jeremiah Trotter. That's a great story, man. And that would have been a great story too, having Jeremiah Trotter and Rice, Brendan Rice, on the same team. Both fathers had played in the NFL. Yeah, that would have been double.
That would have been double. You know what the funny thing is I've been knowing Trot Jr. since he was knee high to a grasshopper. I remember using him on some of our basketball appearances. Him and his brother Nick. And using them when they, me and Trot would go and do basketball appearances, and it wouldn't be enough people to play. He said, "Don't worry about it. That's what I brought them for." And I didn't know what he was talking about at first, but them kids ran circles around all them people. It's like Miss Thomas, you want to come back in? No, go stay out there.
Yeah, it's good to be young. Run and y'all get paid.
But then just seeing them develop into the player he played, watching him play a little bit in high school, and then watching him in college. When I saw him playing in college and I saw him do the Axeman, I was like, yeah. But then to see, I wish he could have went earlier, but I knew what was the draft is a fickle creature.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because
all those offensive players and all those quarterbacks taken early kind of pushed some talent down. Yeah,
push the talent down. That's why people were jumping over people to get moving up in the draft. Actually, Ralphie just said we tied with 8. Well, in the 7th round draft, we tied with 8 moves, 8 move backs, or 8 different trades.
So it was 8
different trades. Yeah, and that's why I was remembering that. And but to see the kid, to hear the whole conversation with Howie calling him. Because the funny thing is you probably don't even remember Howie was used to be Joe Banner's assistant at about 19 or 20 years old, and he was his assistant. And he was learning from Joe Banner. So to see Trotter's kid and the kid who used to be the assistant running things, and to see that phone call and to get him and to see how happy he was, and the family jubilation. Now his dad could do all do the stuff, do all the stuff that dads do, especially given what he's went through with losing Tammy and stuff.
Right. Yeah, they've been through a lot.
And I think this is like the Jets deserve because he don't have to travel like great distances. He can, he could be there not only for him but for Nick who's still in school. So, and then don't forget about the daughter who ran track.
Yeah. So
can't forget about her.
So and I think it's a great story. I think it's a great thing. I think he does have the talent to make the team. Obviously, he won't be a starter this year. You never know. You look, he could come in. From what I understand, he's got sweet feet. He's really real nimble, real swift on his feet, light feet. He moves really well. He can rush the quarterback. He'll be a will linebacker. That's strong side, that's weak side linebacker. Weak side linebacker. Yeah, weak side linebacker. And he holds it down pretty well. So you never know. You never know.
And watching him, I think he played all positions.
And he's smart. He's smart.
And that's the thing too. And he's a student of the game. I think N'Kobe Dean, hopefully he comes on with the come on. That's my guy. I've been pulling for him ever since.
He better come on, man. Him and doggone Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter's going to have a great year, but Jordan Davis need to get, and Nolan Smith. Those cats better come on with the come on, man.
Yeah. This is actually the time where they in this draft, you saw that they draft mostly defense. So
they had to draft defense. That was what we said. The first 2 picks are going to be defensive people, and they got corners. They got Malik. What's his name? Mitchell. Quentin Mitchell. Kenyon Mitchell. I'm sorry. Kenyon Mitchell. I'm messing his name up. Kenyon Mitchell, and they got Cooper DeJean, which I thought, in some of our earlier shows, I thought they were going to take Cooper DeJean over anybody else. They were going to pick him first, but obviously they thought that Kenyon Mitchell, and he is. He's the most highly touted and the best corner, and who's a day one starter. Yeah. He's a day one starter. Yeah, he's going to start day one, and I would not be surprised if Cooper DeJean doesn't start day one, not at corner, because he's a hybrid guy.
Safety,
He's a Swiss Army knife, like you call him.
6'1",
He's going
203.
And people are saying that, well, they're going to prefer to start him at corner. No, I believe they're going to start him at safety.
Yes, me too.
Him and CJ, he and CJ, GJ, what? The two of them all over the place running around back there?
And
like,
if Avante Maddox can stay healthy, damn it, man.
Well, listen, they have the talent now.
Yeah. Yes.
Howie Roseman did an awesome job of filling in the holes that were missing. I mean, we probably could use a little more help at linebacker, but really, we've got all the holes filled right now. We've got the answers.
If you look at what Howie did, he's built competition at every position. It's like between young and old, we brought in Devin White. We still have N'Kobe Dean, who's coming off injury, but then we drafted Trotter. Then we picked up we picked up another couple of guys. We picked up we got the kids coming off of suspension. We got him at cornerback. Then we drafted cornerback. We got Slade. We got Bradbury. We got the three young guys that Kylie Ringo and Ricks and Roby from last year. Also, we got Blankenship. We brought CJ back. We got Sid Nay Brown, and then he brought in Cooper DeJean and the other two young guys. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to make this roster.
The starters are going to be solid. The starters we have on defense are going to be solid. Then also, don't forget, Trevor Keegan, like you said, he brought on offense. Then we got Dylan McMahon. Is his name? Yeah, he's a center out of North Carolina State, center offensive guard. So he's adding depth to the offensive line, which is which is what people were saying we didn't have, we didn't have. So now we have a little more depth to the offensive line. Yeah.
And it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be good to see the competition go down.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. What is your outlook right now? What is your opinion right now? Let's compare right now to last year at this point, right after the draft. After Nolan Smith and we had Jalen Carter, we were feeling pretty good last year. Now, going into the season right after the draft, we were like, we got Super Bowl hopes and
Super Bowl hopes and aspirations.
So how are you feeling right now?
Right now, I'm just looking for some continuity and consistency from this team. I think they did what they needed to do during the offseason. I think we spent the most money keeping some of the guys who we needed to keep, and then bringing in a couple of guys that we needed to get. Not only that, we filled some holes. We did it on paper. Now we got to do it on the field. So it's like you have to. And not only that, you got rid of the coaches who were not getting it done. That's what I was going to say, because I believe we had the talent to play and end up with a better record than we did last year. We had the talent personnel-wise, player-wise, but we just didn't have the coaching that was able to handle and make the proper adjustments and maneuver in tight situations when it got tight, particularly in the latter part of the season. Now we have proven offensive coordinator, proven defensive coordinator, proven coaches who've been there, done that, been in heated situations, know how to make adjustments, whether it's halftime, in the middle of a game, know how to play calls during it, call plays and make adjustments. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference this year. That's going to be the game planning. And I don't think that the Eagles had bad game plans. I just think in the heat of the moment, they went back to the norm. They went back to the simplest way of calling things, whether it was defensively or offensively. They just weren't able to make the proper adjustments in the heat of the battle. Vic Fangio ain't gonna have a problem with that. I've seen. If you ever get a chance to go in his office and see the illustrious catalog of defenses and different ways to. I like the fact that he's a coach, and when I say a coach, he takes the best. If you're on his team, he'll find a way to get the best out of you. It puts you in a position so you could do what you do best. Right. And that's what a coach is supposed to do.
Well, he's got more chess pieces now that he can move around the board. Let me just round one. Quinyon Mitchell, round 2. Cooper DeJean, that was number 40. Round 3, Jalynx Hunt. What do you think about him? The edge rusher. He was a safety in college. He was at Cornell. He was a Cornell safety and he built up himself. Yeah. You like that pick? I guess he's a sleeper. That. He's a sleeper,
He's a sleeper. Dude, you have to catch somebody, man. And the thing I love is the fact that sometimes when you get the people from small school, like when we got Carson Wentz from that small school, they were highly touting him, but he was hurt one of the years that they went all the way. It was the backup quarterback that took them all the way, and he came back to the championship game. Right. But when you get guys from the small schools, they're supposed to dominate, and this kid just dominated because that was who they put in front of him. That means he doesn't know any better. He doesn't care who lines up in front of him. If you put your hand in the dirt, you're about to get this work.
You're about to get this work. About to catch it. Yes, sir.
Because they said one time a rookie lined up in front of me doing. You remember one-on-one pass rush used to be physical.
We used to watch that. Yeah, we used to sit back and watch that. Yeah,
hey, a rookie lined up in front of me, and the coach. So you're supposed to tell the coach your moves, and I was like bull rush. He's like, so you're not going to try any moves? I was like, I want to dispense some street justice first.
I got something in my phone.
Okay.
I wanted to. I don't know what I'm looking for. My pictures. Where are my pictures at? I saved it in my pictures, but my pictures app is gone. Where's my pictures app? I must have deleted it.
Rogers.
No, I had the picks that we got as a result of you mentioned Carson Wentz.
Somebody else posted
the picks as a result of the fact of the trade that we made with Carson Wentz. My picture app is gone. What happened to it?
IDK.
I don't know what, bruh. My picture app is gone. I gotta go find it. Now I don't have any pictures on my phone. Wow. Okay, so much for that. No wonder I got a little hole right here. But anyway, we ended up with the better end of that. Yeah. But yeah, I stopped at Jalynx Hunt, round 3, number 94, the 94th pick overall. Round 4, the 127th pick overall. We talked about Will Shipley from Clemson, the running back. Round 5, the 152nd pick overall, Aeneas Smith, wide receiver. Round 5, 155th, Jeremiah Trotter out of Clemson, junior. Round 5, Trevor Keegan. These are good picks, man. Yeah. 172 overall, offensive guard, Michigan. Michigan linemen play in the NFL. Johnny Wilson, round 6, 185th overall, wide receiver out of Florida State. And round 6, Dylan McMahon, 190 overall. He's a center/guard out of North Carolina State. Howie, what grade do you give Howie Roseman?
Hell, dude, I give him an A+.
You give him an A+?
Yo, he got a third round pick and a fourth round pick for next year's draft out of this draft. Okay, let me break it down why it's an A+. So first, when we get to draft Quinyon Mitchell, who fell to us, and while I'm telling you this, just if anybody hasn't seen Michael Parsons' reaction when Quinyon Mitchell falls to us, I suggest you go to it for the sheer laughter. Now, then we get to the second round, and he finds out that the team he wants to leapfrog some teams to get Cooper DeJean. So he gets up to 40. Not only does he get up to 40, but he gets a third round pick, which we didn't have any third round picks.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So then he takes that third round pick and moves back and gets a third round pick for next year. Genius. Then he moves back again and gets another fourth round pick. I'm like, damn. That's like and then he turned around against. We still have 3 5th round picks.
Right.
And then we had 2 6th round picks. You can't beat that with the bat. And not only that, you came out of this draft with 2 extra picks for next year. You can't beat that with a bat. The hammer can't touch that.
Hammer can't touch that.
No.
Can't touch this.
No.
You know what else we can't touch? History with Hollis.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's time for history. It's time. We don't win an hour, bro. Matter of fact, we'll win an hour. Yeah. It's time for history with Hollis.
History with Hollis is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Go to phillysportstrips.com and book one of our illustrious, tantalizing trips. They do have a trip coming up that's pretty much sold out with the Kentucky Derby, but but the Eagles schedule is coming out. So I know it's that time of year where you go and you take your days off and you pick your trips, but let us do the rest of that work for you. We always have great events and pep rallies and the tailgating as well. Go to phillysportstrips.com and hit the trips and events button and let them know you heard it here on A2D Radio from the Tank and Irv. Now, today is May the 2nd, 2024. It's the 123rd day of the year. There's only 243 of these suckers remaining, man.
Wow. It's June, man, almost.
Yeah, almost.
Gracious.
And we're going to start off with the national holidays. Today's National Brother and Sisters Day.
All right.
It's also National Baby Day, Scurvy Awareness Day. It's also Prayer Day.
Okay.
It's a day of fire. It's also Fire Day and Life Insurance Day. And what's this other one here?
Life Insurance Day?
Yes, Life Insurance Day. It's also Truffle Day, the chocolate truffle
Truffles.
Day, Tuna Day, and Change Your Password Day, and Take a Baby to Lunch Day.
Take a baby to lunch.
To lunch, yeah.
How about take your baby to lunch?
Yeah, pretty much. And we're going to start back in 1776 when France and Spain agreed to supply weapons to the American rebels. I know you're saying, what significance is that? Because they said that Ben Franklin couldn't go and get those weapons, get that stuff from those people, and he went over there and slang his mangina all over the place. So, in 1865, the United States President Andrew Johnson, he offers a $100,000 reward. You know what the reward was for? The capture of Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederate States of America.
Wow!
Because when the war was over, they were kind of pissed because they made it like a treaty instead of the Confederates losing the war. That's why so many people in the South think that they won the war.
Okay.
So today in 1885, Good Housekeeping, the magazine, it came out. It was the first time it was published in the United States by Clark W. Bryce. In 1890, the territory of Oklahoma was created, but it only existed until 1907 when it became Oklahoma. In 1918, the GM, they acquired the Chevrolet Motors Company of Delaware.
Nice.
In 1927, this will chap your ass. 1927, the United States Supreme Court, Buck versus Bell. It permitted forced sterilization.
Wow. Yeah,
of various unfits that was deemed unfit by the states.
Wow.
So they were taking your seed, man. In 1932, we had Pearl S. Buck. She became the very first American woman to be awarded the Pulitzer Prize in Literature for a writing called The Good Earth. 1946, there was the Battle of Alcatraz. The Battle of Alcatraz, where two guards died and 3 prisoners. Then we have 1954, Stan the Man Musial of the St. Louis Cardinals hits 5 home runs in a doubleheader. 5 home runs in a doubleheader versus the then New York Giants at Busch Stadium.
Wow. That's awesome.
In 1963, right here where I am in Birmingham, Alabama, 600 African-American school children were arrested for marching against segregation. School children arrested. 1970, Diane Crump, she becomes the first woman to win the Kentucky Derby as a jockey.
All right.
Yes.
And the Kentucky Derby's like in a week or whatever. This coming week, yeah.
1974, you have former Vice President Spiro Agnew. He was disbarred. Wow. 1981, I know you haven't heard this in a while, Radio Shack. Remember Radio Shack? What was the last time?
They still have Radio Shacks, don't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, they still have Radio Shacks down south.
They released the Model 3 TRS-DOC 1.3, and they had 2 different things they had to fix in that model from the last model. 1994, Michael Bolton was found guilty of plagiarism of the song "Love Is a Wonderful Thing"
Wow.
by the Isley Brothers. I've never heard that song before in my life.
I never heard it either.
I missed. Okay, here's a couple other sportsmen. In 1876, Ross Barnes hit the very first home run in National League history.
Mm-hmm.
In 1920, the first game of the National Negro Baseball League was played in Indianapolis. 1939, Lou Gehrig, he ends his 2,130 streak of consecutive games. We have in where is that? This is pertinent to you guys. In the year 2000, GPS access, meaning your location. It was no longer just used for the military. It was used for your ass too.
Okay. In the year 2000?
In the year 2000, Bill Clinton signed it into order. In 2012, the Scream, the painting of the Scream. I put this in here because I wish I could paint a painting that got sold for $119,922,500.
What painting was that?
It's called The Scream by Edmund Munch.
What is a painting of?
It's the one person screaming. It's a bunch of different colors.
Wow.
And then 2000 last year, 2023, on this day, Joel Embiid became the NBA MVP.
He ain't the MVP this year.
No, he's not. And I have some quick birthdays here. In 1797, Abraham Gessner, he invented kerosene. 1844, Elijah McCoy, he had over 57 patents. One of the main things he did was created the lubrication of the steam engine.
Okay.
And we have,
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
I know you did.
When you said lubrication, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Yeah.
1897, J. Fred Coots. He was the author of the song "Santa Claus Is Coming to Town."
Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh yeah.
1903, Benjamin Spock. He wrote the book "Common Sense Book of Baby Care." 1948, Larry Gatlin of the Gatlin Brothers. 1955, Donatella Versace. 1962, the Big Boss Man of wrestling. 1972, also wrestling, Dwayne Johnson's birthday today. And 1975, David Beckham. Bend it like Beckham. Yes. And History with Hollis has been brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Go to phillysportstrips.com and pick a trip. The Brazil trip is up as well. We also have some baseball trips.
Is it sold out yet?
It hasn't been sold out yet, but then we also have some baseball trips coming up as well. That Chicago, Arizona, the whole shebang, baby.
What y'all waiting for? What are they waiting for? What are y'all waiting for? The trips are not sold out. Well, I think you're waiting for the schedule. The schedule going to come out this week. Or this next week.
Next week, yes.
By the time we do our show, we'll know what the schedule is, and we'll be talking a little bit about the schedule. But next week, we're actually going to be talking about the undrafted free agents that are with the Eagles right now.
Yes.
Because Big Dog, we need to do that in honor of Big Dog, because he knows what's going on in that arena. Right?
Yeah, and I'll probably went to the I don't know when the alumni rookie dinner is coming up pretty soon as well.
Oh, you think they'll invite me to that?
I'll make sure they invite you.
They didn't invite me last time. I guess they don't want me talking to the rookies. Y'all better get your behind in there.
Yeah, man.
Nah, we can't bring Fryar in here and let him talk to the rookies. He mess everything up. Well, we'll be back next week, everybody. We're right on time. We're A2. This is A2D Radio. That's where we're airing. This is Vetted. I am Irving Fryar. That is Big Dog Hollis Thomas right there. Yep, we're doing our thing. We're excited about the draft and what we've acquired in those 7 rounds. Howie Roseman continues to show off. I really think he's got pictures of people naked that he can't. That's why people owe him stuff. That's why he's able to just rip people off.
Just fleece them. I fleece them.
And fleece them like he does, and just have his way when it comes to trades and drafts and free agency, all of that. Howie's got some stuff up underneath his sleeve that we don't know about, which, it's good if the team benefits from it. So I won't complain. But we'll be back next week to talk about the undrafted free agents. That's what Hollis knows about. Yeah. And we'll hear your comments next week. All right, y'all. Don't forget, hit subscribe button, notifications button. Come on, log in with us. Yep, and the like button right here. Vetted A2D Radio Thursday nights at 8:15 p.m. See y'all next week. Go Birds.
Birds.